Welcome. Welcome to Mansa Talks. And today we host our perfect guest, Mr. Michael Mushi, our partner on the podcast. And we are having a really interesting introduction and conversation on tunacheki, where the idea came from, what's the current story, and what's the future. Michael, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
Thank you for having me, Dean. Michael, otherwise known as Makimushi on the platform. That's my nickname. It's a funny story, but one day maybe I'll tell it on the channel. So I'm the co-founder of tunacheki. Tunacheki is a Panafricanist production company where we exclusively cover African content, both on the continent and in the diaspora, and where we just talk about everything involving Africans, regardless where they are on this planet.
Awesome, fantastic. And it's something a lot of Africans connect with, the fact that their stories are told very well by international and also local media and storytellers. So I'm curious where the journey of tunacheki started. Maybe you started off when you were much younger, then finally got the opportunity. What's the story of tunacheki?
Okay, so I started tunacheki officially in 2016. I've always been interested in media and in communication, and I used to do that same job at the United Nations. So over time, I used to be a project manager. I used to see all this negative information, people only focusing on the negative aspects of Africa, even if you're doing research or you're looking for content about Africa, it's either animals or the starving kid or wars. That was the only Africa. So somebody would either think Africa is just filled with animals, the giraffes and the lions, or with only dying people. So that was the image, the only image of Africa that was being provided by every available source, right? Both the mainstream media and also both local, who are just it's called getting what the information from the mainstream media instead of creating their own content. So I just decided what if I just started making my own content about Africa, information videos about Africa, based on what I see, based on what I experience as an African living in Africa. So that's how it started, and we started off in 2016. One video at a time. So that's it's called the abridged version of how tunacheki.
Yeah, and the story is so interesting, especially when you get into the granularity, because I know you did a first video, you forgot about it, moved on to do other things, then it became successful. So I'm so curious, and I'm sure audience is curious about what's the first video and what made the jump from working at the UN to running your own business, running your own platform.
So first, let me start off. So, of course, with this, with this generation that we live in, this generation is more of an entrepreneurship motivated generation. So I've always wanted to start my own company or start my own thing, right? Even if I had a good job at the UN, that was never insurance or security policy. So I've always had, one day I'd leave this job and start something of my own, right? So now this might even shock you. My first idea was something closer to home when it comes to content, where I wanted to start this gaming company called Tucheze, right? Where we were to make mobile games, because I have a background in programming. We were to make mobile games and start telling African stories that way, right? So, and as you know, when it comes to making games, you need a lot of money upfront. It's not something that you can just sit down, program on your own, and have a successful game. Like, you need a team. It's more complicated. So I said, okay, let's put a pin on that. And what way can I what can I do that myself, like with the resources I have, right, without buying anything? What can I do to start telling our own original African stories? So I was like, hey, I do communications. I've got basic video editing skills. And when I say basic, it was just basic video editing skills, right? Most of the things I've learned or by myself or like online, right? Yeah, so I had a good computer from work, right? A powerful computer that could actually make the video. I had a smartphone, so I was like, hey, I have everything I need to start making a video. So, and I have the background in research. So I started, like I made my first video. It was, I think, the first video on the channel. It was top 10 most powerful African militaries, right? I made it in July of 2016, and I was like, oh man, this YouTube thing, I've heard about it. People make millions, people get millions of views. And the first video, I think, got 7 views. And I was like, wow. And in the first video, the turnover was so long. I think it took me a week to research, a week to make it, and a week to finally put it up there. So it was so much work, and I was like, oh yes, this is, my ticket home. And the video just got 7 views, right? which today I really appreciate, because it was 7 people who didn't know who I was. Yeah, but I really suspect the 7 was my mom. who viewed those videos. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, this video editing thing is not easy. Let me focus on my work. Then sometime in November, still of 2016, the video started getting 1,000 views a day. So it's like the first day it was 1,007, the second day 2,000, then it reached 7,000. It just went viral, and I think it ended up at 100,000. So I was like, oh yeah, and it encouraged me. I started making videos. So from November, now I started making one video every week, one top 10 every week, one top 10 trending news, a top 10 like a breaking news, a top 10. So I started slowly. Yeah, and that's where the journey continued. And till today, that video that started with 7 views has over 10 million YouTube views. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
awesome. Congrats to your mom. She started a very big revolution in media. And it's rare for a channel to focus so early on doing a video a week in its first year, and you were able to really early on plug into the need of Africans to see more content about themselves, just as a first step, and then number 2, positive content about themselves. Were there times that you considered shifting significantly, maybe thinking about content from other places in the world, maybe trying to go to the West, to Asia, and so on, because of the number of viewers?
No. So this is the thing. Like I've always thought all other cultures, especially when it comes to the West, like we're oversaturated. You cannot compete in something that everybody is focusing, has so much money, right? So like this is the thing. The trick to YouTube is you should have a niche, right? Even if you're in Africa, you're in Kenya, you don't say, hey, my niche is only African or Kenyan. You should have a unique niche. You should have something that you only, people come after they see the usual YouTube channels, they go like, hey, I must go see what these guys are up to. That's called a niche, right? And our niche, people might think it's African, no, but our niche is usually Pan-Africanism, right? So BBC does African news, CNN does African news, right? But we're not the same, because we are focusing on Pan-Africanism. And I would advise when anybody is trying to enter this content creating business, always have your niche. And the more unique the niche, the higher chances of you being successful, right? Even if you're a African gamer, like the gaming niche in YouTube is so oversaturated. But if you're an African gamer, you should have a niche that makes you unique, and special, more than the other millions of gamers who are trying to make it on YouTube, right? You can't compete with the big boys doing the same exact thing, right? So there's this thing, like you sent me on Elon Musk. He was saying, if you want to compete and it's not your unique original idea, right? You have to be better than the people who are doing it, right? Yeah, you can't offer the same bread, right? People don't always go with the brand. Your bread must be way better or something special.
So it's better. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with YouTube. Like you cannot start a gaming channel or African channel or a travel channel and start doing the exact same things the other guys on top of you are doing. You have to be unique and have your niche. So that's one thing we learned early, and that's one thing I would encourage anybody who gets inspired by what we do to do. Find your niche and then go from there, not the opposite way.
Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. And it's so important for, especially, I think, young creators, young entrepreneurs to understand that a huge percentage of opportunities have already been taken up. And for you to be able to compete, you need to be able to be sometimes even 10, 20 times better, faster, cheaper, more easier to use, and so on, than what's currently out there. You can't just be slightly different. You need to be extremely different.
Definitely. And with the more we are getting in this information age, like most people think we've already reached the information age, right? We are just at the start of the information age. So the more we start going over generation to this information age, it's going to be harder, and you're going to have to be way better and perfect at creating content, right? Like as I started, I could easily create a video like it's not perfect, but these days people expect perfection from us. If we make a mistake, if we make a typo, people really take it personally. So as you proceed, you have to be better and better at what you do.
Yeah, completely agree. And the key with, I think, especially being African or Black, that the spotlight on you is significantly hotter than almost any other community. And we've seen over the past few years, anytime a Black, successful, powerful man in almost any industry, whether business, entertainment, tech, etc., makes a mistake, the amount of noise, complication, ridicule, insults that go against him or her is significantly more than any other ethnicity.
Because most people don't realize we live in a, how can I say, a white supremacist world, right? Where there are these white people on top who somebody with basic education, mediocre talents, not that creative, can make it in this world just based on their skin color, right? But if you're African, you really have to be way better, like 10 times better than the best of their best, right? For you to be able to be in the same level. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's the world we live in, but for me, I've always thought that's always like something good, because we create just these amazing people who do amazing things, right? Like there's this. Like this, how can I say it? Like this scientific fact, right? Like based on genetics, like evolution, right? So they usually say the fastest man, right, who will ever live, right, will be must be African, right? And the slowest man who will also ever live would also be African. Right? the same way as the smartest man who will ever live on this planet will be African. Currently, the smartest person in existence is this, I think, 16-year-old Nigerian girl, right? But the same concept works. The smartest person who will ever live on this planet, right, will be African. And the dumbest person who will ever live on this planet will also be African. This is because Africans have got the most genetic diversity in any other region, right? So that also brings us our ability to always be better than the rest, regardless of the environment and the situation, right? We always have that ability to surpass any other person. Yeah, so that's usually like one genetic fact that most people usually don't know about.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to every time an African does something great, there's always this excitement, there's always this hope, there's always this really positive energy that occurs at around that time. There are always those few haters, quote unquote, but majority of the information and feedback you get is overwhelmingly positive. And I think it tends to that, in that even Africans agree that there's greatness within us. There's this opportunity to do really good work, build really good lives, and we hold each other back, and we are held back by so many other different factors in our lives. But you're right in that it's there, it's innate. It's really just executing and releasing it.
Definitely. And then now we take that narrative and we push it out there so that other Africans can see themselves doing these great things, right? Because the more you see yourself in the media, the more you see yourself in pop culture of like Africans can do this, Africans can do this. I think it's easier because now, like for other Africans, like it's easy for us to do this, right? All you have to do is just find a good example, and it will be flooded, right? Like based on like every industry, like especially in the tech industry right now, in the like the big five companies, they're filled with like Asians, right? But this is why it's filled with Asians because Indians and Chinese started going there to do it. Then other Indians and Chinese are saying, "Hey, Sanjay Gupta, like it's like the guy for Google, I forget Sanjay, like I forget him. But just the CEO of Sandra Pichai, the CEO of Google, the CEO of Microsoft, right? Like they're leaders, and other young Indian people are seeing that, and they're like, hey, like this is easy. If those guys could do it and they had nothing, right? Technically those guys had nothing, and they're like the CEOs. For me, I come in a moderately well-off family. I've got the education, I've got the skill. I'm technically smarter. How is that hard? They just go there and feel. That's why these days there's so many Asians in the tech industry, like in a whole. So if the same can happen for Africans, right? Where they see, there's this African production company. Man, they did it. This guy did it with like no money at all, no budget at all. He started with what he had in his pocket. And for me, I've got, I did this investment, or I've got this inheritance, or I've got this savings. Of course, somebody like that would easily do it, and because we've laid out the path for them. They would make production companies way better than what we are doing right now. So that's the good thing of doing things, being the first in doing things, because it's always easy. Because these days there's so many. When we started, technically, like I think we were the first, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like Tunacheki was the first exclusively African YouTube channel to just cover African content, right? And over time, I've seen there's so many African channels being top 10 channels. I've seen so many other African YouTube channels doing what we're doing. And for me, I'm so happy because I've always said, right, we've reached 1 million subscribers. I've always said, right, that's good, but what's cool is having 1 million YouTube African YouTubers, right? 1 million subscribers on YouTube, it's been done, right? But 1 million African YouTubers, I always think that one would be way amazing, and I encourage everybody to see what you are doing, go like, hey, I can do better than those guys, and actually do it, right?
Yeah, and it's so important for us to be able to bring each other up in terms of bringing other people into really the same things that we're doing. And we've seen it in the career sector, people hiring other Africans into their companies. We've seen it in technology, people investing in other African tech companies, and now more and more with creatives, where artists, YouTubers, entertainers are supporting other Africans and bringing them up and mentoring them and so on. And I know this is something that Tunacheki actively does. You mentor YouTubers, you mentor creatives in how to really work on YouTube and how to build YouTube as a viable platform.
We have this platform called Friends of Tunacheki, where for free, we've never charged for promoting another African YouTuber's channel, sharing their videos, sharing their content, promoting them on social media. And like, it's always fun when we get these emails. They're like, hey, I'd like you to help me share my YouTube channel. How much do you guys charge? Then we're like as long as your content is African, just share it. Just send it to us. We'll share it. Then they go like, hey, is this the real Tunacheki channel? Like it's a scam, right? That for us, we'd have to charge people to share African content, because our motive is to share African content. So so most people get shocked that we just share the content and help them for free at no cost, and we'll continue doing that regardless if you have 1 million subscribers or even ever reach to 10 million subscribers. So that's always our goal. Our goal has always been to share African content, and it's not exclusively our African content. So, and this is always a call out. If you're an African creator, you're starting off, you need help, we'll give you advice, and we'll also share your content. We'll also help you out. We'll also tell you what to do, what not to do. And we've seen this one's work. We have a channel who reached out to us when they had 200. Right now they've got like 40,000 subscribers, right? Like that. So seeing people grow and telling people never to give up, even if your video gets 10 views or 1 million views, to still continue, because creating content and with YouTube algorithm, you never know. Your video might get 10 views today and 1 million views tomorrow. So but that opportunity can never happen if you don't create. So it's best sit down, create content, and you go from there.
Okay, amazing. I think that brings us into very directly what currently Tunacheki does. I know you have a lot of video, you have a lot of channels, you have a lot of video segments that you do. Just a quick run through into what they are and why you brought them together.
Okay. So first of all, we started Tunacheki as a YouTube channel. Then over time, we grew up to a production company, meaning we're just no longer a YouTube channel. We produce videos for as far places as South Africa, as Nigeria, as Middle East, and India, where there is companies who want to share African content, and we produce the content, our content that they share towards us. We've recently started our tunacheki platform, which is our podcast production studio, where we'll be focusing on doing podcasts on all available platforms. And we also have a news channel, tunacheki.tv, and we are also currently working on our own platform, where YouTube is cool and all, but at the end of the day, this platform doesn't belong to us, and we have to create our own thing. So we're also currently working on a streaming channel where we'll just not be able to get tunacheki content, but other African content, exclusive African content. So that's where we've reached, and we still have more plans to expand as we grow and as the team grows.
Awesome. And you do a lot of video types. I know you do your Africanews, you do your collaborations, you do your podcast. How many different things do you currently do?
And this is a trick. This is a trick with YouTube that most YouTubers don't realize, right? They swear and die by what they do, right? YouTube wants you to be flexible, to go with the flow. YouTube is like a, right? But most people think YouTube is like a 100-meter dash, where if you started off as a vlogging channel, you die by that. I'm going to vlog until I get for forever, and you're not seeing growth, right? So there's this saying that I always live by is you cannot improve what you cannot measure, right?
Yeah.
So if you have no way of knowing the content that you make is doing better than the other one, and then just continue blindly, your channel will never grow. Whatever you do will never improve, right? But if you go like, hey, I started with making top 10 videos, list videos, top 5 videos, dance videos, serious videos, and it got us up to a certain point, right? Then we are like, hey, we are stagnating. We are not moving up. We're just the same way. So before we start going down in the curve, let's think of something new. Then we started doing the speeches, right? Where I'm always a fan of speeches. I've watched so many speeches and read so many speeches. I have them just at the top of my head. I'm like, this is interesting. I'd I think these speeches would be interesting for other people. We started doing speeches. That one shot us up completely, right? From I think 100,000 till like 500,000, just on content with speeches and like political commentary. Then we started stagnating. Then we were like, okay, we've reached here. So what else would people want? And then based on the comments and suggestions, people are like, hey, Michael, like, what do you think of this and this happening? What do you think of this and this happening? There's this, like Africa is opening up in two, or there's this Chinese restaurant that's kicking out Africans. So I'm like, hey, people are interested in current affairs and news. So we started our news section, right? So, and our news section is one that has taken us up to the 1 million mark, right? And so this is the point. We'll just not stop at news, because we do documentaries, we do like original commentary, right? I'm going to start a new show where I'll be reacting to things that are happening online. I'm going to call it, I think, Africa is watching. Yeah. Just normal reactions, right? And we'll see how it goes. So and this is what most people don't know. For every new show that works out for us and takes us to another level, right? Both based on the numbers, analytic-wise, both financially, right? There are like 3 or 4 that didn't work. And we never scrap them. We're like, okay, maybe this one was not ready, because we brought shows back that have actually actually worked. So this is like a good example. So we have this show called People of Africa that I tried doing myself, right? My weird voice and the way I speak, like the way I talk quickly and the way I was explaining it, I was making it too boring, right? So then our co-founder was like, hey, let me have a shot at the show, right? So that show does minimum 2 million views, like a video, right? Yeah. So like the series is very successful just because it was done in a different way, or the channel wasn't ready yet for that kind of content. So we've got so many different shows and ideas that we're ready to try out. Some we try, they don't work. We shelve them or put a pin on it. We're like, hey, we'll get back to it later, or like it did work. Like another example of a show that worked and people loved and people always keep wanting, but based on the realities of how YouTube works, was our top 10 weekly African music countdown, right? People love that show, and like the channel, it used to do good on the channel. So we just used to do a top 10, like a top 10 countdown of how they used to do. These are the top 10 best African music videos of the month, top 10 best collabos, because people want to know what's currently trending, what's new, what's fashionable, right? Yeah. So that show we had all the 10 songs used to have like 8 copyright strikes. So based on, unless maybe YouTube changes something, a show like that is impossible. So we've got some that they work, but they're technically impossible. And there's some that we are not yet ready for, and there's some that are just bad ideas. So which is good to have a bad idea, because trying is everything. Never be afraid to fail, because if you fail 10 times and you succeed once, that's the only thing people will remember, right? So and there's many other shows that I've even forgotten about that I'm sure making a million views per episode, that they'll just come back to me as we continue talking.
Okay, so I think let's try to make an interesting video idea out of this. So what's the tunacheki process or timeline to make a video that hits 1 million views? Maybe step 1, writing, then editing, then testing. Yeah, what's the process?
Okay. So for me, I think my edge is that I am very visual, right? Yeah. So before even we come up with a video idea, I have to see it, how it look, the thumbnail and the title in my head, right? Yeah. So sometimes it's like this physics professor, right? Who always used to say the best way of learning physics is you start from the hardest, you go down to the easiest things.
Oh,
right?
wow. Okay.
So I think I do the same when it comes to videos, where I imagine the video completed. Like, how will it look on the channel? How will it sound? The title and the thumbnail, right? If if that works, right? If I can visualize it nicely, I can always tell, yeah, this one will go viral, right?
Yeah.
So like it goes there. Then now we create the script, like right? It goes through the script. We go through the script. We edit it. Around we have a very good script writer. After that, it goes to voice recording. Then we send it over to our editor, right? And after we send it over to our editor, now it comes to me. I'm the one who's always responsible in sharing this content, right? Because now that's my expertise. I know how to put a video out that YouTube would want to push to other people, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually the secret sauce in the whole process, right? Because have you gone like when you're just on YouTube, you see this video. It's by there's this famous photographer, Kenyan photographer. I think it's called Ian Mudhika or something. Like I don't know. He's so famous. Ian Mudhika or something. He's got crystal clear 4K videos, drone footage of Nairobi, like Naivasha. The videos are crisp, perfect, right? His videos never get more than like I think 2,000, 1,000 views, right?
Yeah.
Not because his content is not good. His content is good. His content is interesting. It's just the last part, the like I call it the secret sauce of how you have to package the whole thing. You know, everything is usually about marketing, especially in this capitalistic world that we live in, right? You have to you have to package your product in a way that you want people to care about it, right? If you just put a video and put it there, then you're like, oh, I'm hoping for the best. It never works like that, right? All these videos, they I think they figured it out in 2018. The science of making a video go viral, right? Before it was just luck. Somebody makes a video, it goes like. Then these guys, if I forgot it was which university, they actually studied what makes a video go viral, and like you can go read the research and actually follow step by step, and you'll actually be successful. So maybe I can give you my own crash course version of the research. Is that first visualize how the video will be like. If you yourself will not click the thumbnail or will not be interested in the topic, just don't do it. It's no point, right? Because you're the best indication of if a video is interesting, right? If you know video idea is interesting, and you also know that this person might find interesting, start working on it. So after you've got interest, visualize it, give it a name, right? Title it before you actually make the video. Be like what angle will we attract people, right? So through the most app I use on my phone, right, is a thesaurus app. Like it's a dictionary.com app there for the thesaurus and for the like I forget which word is it for words with two meanings, like
synonyms.
Another way. Synonyms. So those are the two for the thesaurus and the synonyms, right? So a good example is like simple word like boldly. Like boldly. Like you can use words in so many different ways that if you just wrote it in the normal English, someone will be like, it's okay. Hey, let me see these videos that has people dancing, right? But if you use the right words, the exact same words, but just different words, unique words that people haven't seen or related to importance, right? There's a way you can put a word like rage, and rage just means anger, right? So instead of like Mugabe angrily attacks the UN with words, right? You can be Mugabe rages widely. It just means the same thing, but the word makes somebody want to click on the video. So that's very important. How you word your titles, right? How many words you put it? Not too short, not too long, right? Maybe 70 words is the right one, right? Don't do that capital letters, like I don't know, everything in caps. No, nobody likes that, right? Keep it simple, and also the descriptions and the tags and the thumbnail. So the most important thing is or like when it comes to YouTube, the title, the thumbnail, then now the video, right? Your video must be interesting to keep them for longer than 30 seconds. Right, because if you make the perfect title and the perfect thumbnail, and the video is not interesting, or it's a fake video, or it's a clickbait, it will not go viral, because YouTube, the algorithm, has a way of detecting videos that people click off immediately, right? So, they got me. No, YouTube will stop immediately. The video will even reach like I think 300 views, right? Like they know if 200 people watch a video and they click out in the first 5 seconds, that's dead there, right? Like it's dead before ever, yeah. So the best way to do it is first have an interesting video, then dress it up, right? But make sure the dressing is, you spend more time with the dressing as you did for the video, right? So most people create the video and they think that's it. No. So like it's actually funny. It's the titling, the packaging, the research, and the video. Making the video ends up being the shortest part of the process. So that's maybe the advice I can give to upcoming YouTubers if they want to do this.
Yeah, and it's so important to communicate to people that so many creative disciplines are technical first. Like there's the creativity side, which is important, but the technical is so important because that's usually what gets you noticed, that you're very good at the technical parts of it.
There's so many creative, especially Africans. There's so many people who make beautiful content on YouTube. That's why we have all of these friends of tunacheki. And I go like, oh man, if you could just spend 1 hour before you post your video and actually package it nicely. Oh man, So I see a lot of waste opportunities, but it can be remedied as long as you're creating content, right? You can always fix that later because it's something you learn. You let's see, if you're an artist, you're a talented artist, right? If you're a musician, you have a beautiful voice, right? But when it comes to these analytical things, it's something you can sit down, read, watch a video tutorial, read a course, and learn how to present your content so that people can accept it.
Yeah, completely agree. I think this brings us to the next thought process, in that tunacheki has so many plans for the future. What's the one thing you can share with the public that you're working on? I know this is the streaming service. I know you're thinking about books. You're thinking about more content, movies, and so on. What would you like to share?
So first I'll start with the book. Content is content, right? So for us at tunacheki, we do not confine ourselves to YouTube or to just media like video, audio. So as I said, we are going after the video. We've gone to audio. Now we've gone to literature, where we've created our first African children's book. It's called Mawa and the Garden of Plenty, and we have 6 more to go, right? For our first foray into this, right? Then after that, we will go into, as you said, focusing on our streaming platform, right? And also our streaming platform won't be traditionally just a streaming platform. Like it will be also a learning platform where if you've got young kids, they can go there, learn their ABCs, with actually African references, right? They're not told X is for xylophone, right? So they like things like that, right? Or N is for Manhattan, So we will create for them exclusive content, and that also comes into our other secret project that we're working on. We're also working on animation, creating our animation and our children's channel, right? And that's also connected to our book launch. You have to create the stories, then animate them. So all that ends up at our streaming platform, where we'll be exclusively providing this content to people, and eventually our long-term plan is we'd like to produce whole movies, just not documentaries, a whole movie. If we see a creative African writer or director and they've got this good idea, we will be willing to fund the project, create a beautiful original African movie. Like that. That's our long-term goal, right? That we're working to. But content is the main point of why we're here, and we don't choose which content we want to share. As long as it's African, books will provide for you, audio will provide for you, video will provide for you, written content in news form will provide for you. So we want to be a holistic, just an African production company, not focusing on video or just one thing in particular.
Okay, and connecting directly to that, you've over the years had hundreds, if not thousands, of African stories. Some good, some bad. What's the one story that left the biggest impression on you?
That's a good question. So to maybe summarize, we've got 250 million views so far on our channel, right? That's
250 million.
250 million, meaning how many Africans have seen our content. So for me personally, the most interesting story that I've covered on tunacheki has to be, let me think about this, because there's so many going through my head.
Because I noticed recently there was the story of the African female runner considered one of the most beautiful in the world. I thought that was super interesting. There was the South African ballet dancer who danced and then it rained. That was interesting on its own. Like there's, I'm sure there's too many stories.
So for me, like I remember the most interesting story and the one that I'm always following, right? So there's this time where in Kenya, a place called Suswa, where there was like a huge like land mudslide, and it cracked like from the sky. You could see a huge crack, right? That was splitting the road into two, right?
Yeah.
Then scientists went and were like archaeologists. Then they were like, no, sorry, not archaeologists, geologists. Then they're like, yeah, this is normal. It should happen because in some few thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years, Africa, the whole of the Horn, starting from Ethiopia, going down to Uganda, going and circling Tanzania till Malawi, all that will break away and push towards the Indian subcontinent, right? Where Africa will be two subcontinents. And I've always thought that one is so cool because you are actually seeing how different the future will be and how beautiful this planet is, right? We've just been here for a sliver of seconds, right? Like they say, if Earth, the planet that we live on, was a calendar from January, right, till December, January 1st till December 31st. Human existence, right, is the calendar, the box, right?
Like
the thinnest corner that you can cut from that block, right? So if you take a razor blade and cut the thinnest corner, so it makes a little triangle. That's how long humans have been on Earth. Right?
Less than a day.
Not even less than a day, like just a sliver of that, like a dot of that day, right? That's our relevance in on this planet, just on this planet. And then now think about the relevance in the universe, right? So after everything, and is in this cosmic perspective, it always goes to show me where we are is always way more important than who we are, right? At the end of it all, the universe is out there. There are things to discover. There's so much beauty and mystery, and that one always fuels me. That's why that story for Earth cracking, right? Because Earth, it's like it doesn't care what we think about it cracking into two, right? It will just do its thing. So things like that always amaze me because they always open up your mind, right? Because sometimes you can be too clogged up in the fight.
Focused,
We need, like we need like equality, we need freedom. You tend to forget how beautiful this world is, how beautiful this universe is, and how irrelevant our little squabbles are in the larger aspects of of it all. Right, the universe is so vast and so beautiful, and so much to be discovered.
Yeah. Wow, that is so true. And I think what's exciting about how humans are alive right now is that there's never been a period of more understanding of the effect we have in the world. Whether you talk about climate change, you talk about human rights, you talk about wealth and generating wealth, there's never been a time where humans were more aware of the effect in the world. And hopefully that's going to be a positive. Hopefully we're going to make the world better, a safer space.
And this generation of ours is lucky because we are at the start of the information age, right?
Yeah.
It's now fun. Yeah, like it's a fun thing to be in. It's not a problem. So the people of the future are the ones who will really suffer with the information age. You know, because in an epoch, there's always when everybody is happy having iron tools to dig and having iron tools to do work, right? But at the end of it all, they'll convert that iron to weapons and swords, and the same way with the information age. Right now, we are enjoying it. We are talking over vast distances. We are like removing divisions, right? But over time, this same technology, this same tool, the same with the nuclear weapons, right? Somebody will use it for something bad. So my thing is, we are lucky, but let's always be vigilant when it comes to going forward, especially in the 3-4 generations to come. It will really be hard on them because information will be the most potent weapon that this planet will ever invent.
Yeah, completely agree. And the information age has also been very good in terms of dealing with our history, especially as Black people, being able to go back into the past, reading and understanding what happened to us, the mistakes that were made, and how we can build a better Africa and world for ourselves and our children.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So, a final parting shot.
Yes. But before we leave, so what's your I'm sure you've been a fan of tunacheki for a while. What's the most interesting video you've ever seen coming from our channel?
Ooh, the host gets the question. Okay.
It's research. Yeah. Like 5 videos of those.
Yeah. Ooh, the one I mentioned earlier of the girl dancing in the rain. I really liked that. I think there's an Africanews segment you shared around Africans leaving Ukraine. And I thought that was very interesting in how you balanced the challenge of being African just anywhere in the world, that you could be in the middle of a war, but at the end of the day, you're not really just human, you're also African, you're also Black. I really enjoyed that balance. And then finally, your first video. It was the first video I ever saw, of course, algorithm. But what I liked about it is that I had never thought of ourselves as, for the most part, powerful in a significant way. I hadn't thought of Africans, especially many different African countries, as powerful. Almost all the media, you say, oh, there's a problem with fuel, there's a problem with that, who did what, which politician stole what money, etc. But rarely do you get just a simple story on this army has these special operatives, they've been able to protect themselves against these terrorists and so on. And that painted a very mind-changing picture for me in that, wait, with all their challenges of all these law enforcement officers, there are still some people within those organizations who are able to proudly say they do their work well. They protect their country, they protect their people, they protect their communities. And that was a very powerful one for me. And I hope as we go along, we'll be able to do more in business, we'll be able to do more in tech, we'll be able to do more in other categories where we can show in a very simple way that African is great. Africans are great for many different reasons.
Yeah, definitely. And this is our age, so it's just us to take it and go forward.
Yeah. Awesome. This has been amazing. Thank you so much, Michael. I think a final word from you, a final question from me is, Tunacheki has been part of a lot of different programs alongside other YouTubers. What's the one thing you hope to see African YouTubers be able to do, let's say in the next 1 year?
Okay, so one thing is we collaborate more, because most African YouTubers tend to do things on the solo road. So I'd like us to collaborate more. Even that one brings me in July. We've been invited by the Ethiopian Ministry, Tourism Ministry, to a tour, African YouTuber tour, where these African YouTubers, where we must be, I think we'll call it 100 million match. Where just all of the YouTubers who will go there will have a fan base of 100 million subscribers, right? Yeah. So I wish we would collaborate more as African YouTubers, because for us, we're always open to collaborating. We do it for free, right? We spend so much time and resources just promoting upcoming YouTubers and helping also fellow YouTubers. So I'd like this trend to continue for other YouTubers to be open and share the love. Tell people your secret sauce. Tell the people the secrets to your success. Yeah, because that's the African way of doing things.
Yeah. Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your thoughts. And I guess we'll do another one very soon.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay. Have a good one, everyone.
Remember to leave your suggestions on the topics you would like us to cover in the comments below.